Hola, estudiantes. So I'm back with a few more examples. We're going to do the same thing that we did yesterday, where I'm going to think of some examples, write them on here in English, and you are going to try to translate them into Spanish. As, like I said yesterday, that, if we were in class, we'd be doing whiteboards, but we don't have those available right now. But it's the same idea, right? I'll just give you a minute or so to think of an answer, and then you check your answer. And you have to realize what you did wrong. So you have a big role in your understanding. You have to realize am I putting the first verb in the subjunctive when it's supposed to be in the present tense, or am I putting the second verb in the present when it's supposed to be in the subjunctive, or am I forgetting the car gars are, just kind of like whatever it is that you're missing. So hopefully you're kind of becoming aware of the mistakes that you're making so you don't make them again. Friday will be your quiz. Now, obviously quizzes are a little different. It'll be open note. You can use your notes, but that will be on Friday. So it'll be vocab. So that's why we have there'll also be a vocab activity today on Schoology. And then you'll also want to look at these sentences. So I wanted to do a couple of examples with querer and necesitar. The reason I wanted to do an example, at least one with each of these, is because these verbs, when they're used as triggers in these subjunctive sentences, the way that they translate into Spanish is not necessarily what you think, like the structure of the sentence. So let me just give you an example. And I talked about this last week, but I think it's worth repeating. Let me give the example of the pilot wants the I'm blanking on the word in English. The azafata, the auxiliar, the flight attendant. The pilot wants the flight attendant to, what does he want him to do? The pilot wants the flight attendant to make an announcement. Okay. So whenever you have this type of sentence in English where you have one person and they want the other person to do something, students automatically try to say like el piloto quiere, and then they try to say like el auxiliar de vuelo, and then they try to use the infinitive for it to make an announcement. But we know better. We have to have this structure of subject, verb, que, subject, verb, right? So we kind of have to rethink the way that we are going to translate it. And when we translate to Spanish, it's going to be the pilot wants that the flight attendant make an announcement. So I'm going to give you a minute to try to translate that. Remember what I said yesterday as well. If I'm going too fast, obviously just pause the video. But I will wait a minute here. Again, if you're not ready, just pause the video, but I'm going to go ahead and write the answer in Spanish. El piloto quiere, present tense, have to have the que there. Even though we don't say that in English. In Spanish, you have to say, el piloto quiere que el auxiliar de vuelo now we need our subjunctive, haga un anuncio. So check that with what you have. And think about what mistakes you're making. All right, I'm going to do an example with need. Somebody needs somebody to do something. Okay. So let's say the doctor needs him to take his medicine. That's how we say it in English. In Spanish, it's going to still, again, I know I'm repeating myself. Subject, verb, que, subject, verb. So here in Spanish, it's going to look like the doctor needs that he take his medicine. First verb in the present tense, second verb in the subjunctive. All right, it's auto-correcting to English. If you're not ready, just pause the video and unpause it when you are ready. But I'm going to go ahead and translate it to Spanish. El médico necesita, present tense, que. Then we would just have él, whoever él is, he. Tomar is to take. I'm not sure if you guys know that verb, but el médico necesita que él tome su medicina. Okay. So I'm going to stop the video there, but I wanted you guys to see a couple of examples, one with querer, one with necesitar, because those, when we translate them to Spanish, the structure changes. Okay. So it's not like, recomendar, that one, the structure of the sentence is kind of the same in English and Spanish. You have, he recommends that, and in Spanish it's recomienda que, so it just kind of flows a little bit better. But these, again, you have to rethink how it's structured to make it fit that kind of like formula I gave you when we first took notes on the subjunctive. Subject, verb, que, subject, verb. All right, mis amigos, email me with questions, okay? Adios.